Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial decisions that you'll ever make, and a home inspection plays a crucial role in that process. But what exactly should you expect from an inspection? Today, we're going to talk with Rich Carroll, one of our local inspectors here in Sarasota, to learn more about that process. Thank you, Rich, for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the home inspection business and a little bit about your company?
Sure. My company is Home Team Inspection of Sarasota, and what I was doing is, at the time, I was running factories, and I got with a business coach and was interested in trying something a little bit different. I've always been in the building products industry. We made fire retardant wood. We made the big beams that go into bridges and skyscrapers. We did a lot of overlays, which are turned into siding. All these things I had been involved with, and so I was looking for something, because I'd been on so many job sites and working with them. Home inspection just kind of came natural to me. It was kind of a fun thing to do at first, and then if you kind of have been involved in the rental business, which I was also, you start getting really interested in how buildings are put together and the science behind it, and that's kind of what drew me into it. So about 2019, I bought a franchise, Home Team Inspection. Home Team's been around since the 70s. We've been here in Sarasota since 2019, and actually we just expanded this last year down into Port Charlotte and Northport, all the way just north of Fort Myers, because we bought the franchise down there too. So we're growing, and that's kind of how I got there, and a little bit about my business.
Now, you said Sarasota, so for people who may be thinking about moving to the area, what other areas do you serve? If I need an inspection for a buyer, where will you travel to? I know you said down to north of Fort Myers.
Yeah.
What about Tampa, St. Pete? Do you cover those areas?
So there's another franchise up in the Tampa, St. Pete area, owned by the Ackerman family. One thing I will say about Home Team, Florida is very well covered with Home Team. So if you need a Home Team inspector, if I don't have that area, I will get you another person that does. But my area goes just south of Sun City, out to like Arcadia, and then down to Punta Gorda. So all that area.
So in order to be an inspector, I'm sure you need some certification or license in order to practice.
Absolutely. So to become an inspector, there's about a 4-hour proctored test that you have to take. It takes 120 hours of actual school book time to learn it, and then you're tested by the state of Florida, licensed by DPNR, so that you can do this in Florida. And then there are some rules around inspecting that also kind of add to that. For instance, mold inspections takes a separate license. Mold remediation takes a separate license. We carry the assessor license. We don't carry a remediation license. We do have a number of friends in the industries that we can help direct people to if they need a hand. A lot of these other disciplines also require license. For instance, a pest inspector is a specific license, and for the pest inspections they do here in Sarasota, here in Florida, they're really looking for 3 things. It's termites and powder post beetles and wood decaying fungi. And then, that is your wood destroying organism inspection. So that's a completely separate license.
And I'm glad you brought up the issues of the WDO and the mold. So Florida's a different area. A lot of people are coming here, some sight unseen. What are some common issues that you see as an inspector, just generally in homes in Florida? So
generally, I like to recommend that people get a WDO inspection. The reason is, we do have, it's kind of, I always tell people, this is where God invents bugs, and he drops them down here and says, hey, this one's got 14 eyes and 72 legs. Drop her in Sarasota, let's see what he does. So it's a good idea to have the pest inspection. We are hot and humid the majority of the year. Everything except for the last 2 weeks was hot and humid, and that is a perfect environment for mold. So mold is a good one to look for. When your home inspector, be it me or somebody else, goes through your house, what you'll see is potential microbial growth, discolored area, a buildup. Things like that are signs that you could have mold. And they will, at some point, if they think it's mold, tell you that they recommend a mold test. And that's the way to know. Keep in mind, mold spores are small, so small that you will not be able to see them. The color of mold is not an indicator of the type of mold for the most part. We all know about black mold, but it can be green, it can be yellow. And there's other types of mold that are not black that also can be bad. Mold tests are not a bad idea. Probably the biggest thing we're seeing right now, roof damage. with the hurricanes that have went through. A lot of roofs are damaged. Now, some people have leaks. They know they have damage. Now, other ones, when we go up there on your roof and walk your roof, we're going to find damage. And when I say that, missing shingles, torn shingles, things like tiles that are cracked or broken or completely missing. So those are the types of things we're going to see after a big wind like that. Also, we check pretty closely for moisture around windows and doors, because the fact of the matter is, even the best windows and doors, you get 120 miles an hour of wind and it fluctuates. It's going to move the window a little bit in and out, and you're going to get some moisture there. You want to make sure that dries up and does not cause mold. But those are the big ones. The salt air, especially if you're close to the water, is pretty hard on those AC units because metal rusts and salt. Anybody from the north knows salt, metal. Look at your car, it rusts, and that happens to your AC unit. So we like to look at that too. The other thing I would say is keep in mind that your home inspector is a generalist. So I'm not going to tear down the condenser motor and break it all down into the little electronic components that make it work. What I'm going to do is tell you that's working or it's not functioning, and you need to have an AC guy, an actual technician, come out and diagnose what the problem is and help you find the right solution for it.
And these are issues, I came from up north, so a lifetime roof was a lifetime roof.
Yep.
That's not the case here in Florida. And some of these issues that you're talking about, not necessarily just resale homes. This can happen in new construction as well with the mold and wind damage, correct?
Yes, and I especially, because the wind hits, the wind doesn't care when you're building your house. Those guys put the tiles up there, they put their shingles up there, the wind comes up, and 3 days after they get done going, hey, we're done, good to go. That big wind at that time can be damaging. Okay, so those things happen as the actual weather events happen.